I'm not proud to admit this, but after my last breakup, I jumped on Tinder way too fast. It was supposed to be a distraction, casual conversations, some swiping, maybe a date or two. I wasn't looking for anything serious. I definitely wasn't looking for her. Her name was Lily. Her profile was strange. Only one photo, which was black and white and grainy, like it was scanned from an old Polaroid. She wasn't really even smiling. There was something about her face that made me stop scrolling. She looked like someone who chose you. Her bio just said, "I know what I want. Do you?" I thought it was edgy, maybe trying too hard, but I swiped right anyway. We matched instantly. She messaged me first. She didn't ask what I did for a living, or what music I liked, or what I was looking for. She said, "You're not like the others." I remember reading that and getting chills. Not because it was creepy at first, but something about it, the way she phrased it, felt like a statement, not a compliment. I asked her what she meant. She replied, "You feel hollow inside, like something's missing." I liked that. I stared at the screen for a minute. Then I laughed it off and replied with a joke. And then with that, she just sent her address. No words, it was just a pin drop of her location. Against all common sense, I went. I know how dumb that sounds, but there was something about the way she messaged. It felt like if I didn't go, I'd regret it. Like I had already said yes somehow. The address was a house about 30 minutes outside the city. When I pulled up, the porch lights was off. All the windows were dark. The only thing lit was a single red candle burning on the windowsill. I almost left, but then the front door creaked open, and there, she was standing at the front door. She looked like her photo, but wrong. She had the same hair, same lips, same piercing eyes. But it was like looking at a wax figure of her. She was too smooth, too perfect. Her skin didn't reflect light the way normal skin does, and she was barefoot in November. She tilted her head and said, "You came. Most don't." Then she stepped aside for me to come in. The house smelled like iron and roses. It was sweet and sour at the same time, but there were no lights on, just candles, dozens of them. Some sitting on bookshelves, some on the floor, one floating in a bowl of black water. She guided me into the living room, where there was only one chair. She gestured for me to sit, while she stood there the whole time. We didn't talk about anything normal. She asked questions like, "Have you ever dreamed in someone else's body? What would you do if no one else could see you? How many people would miss you if you vanished tonight?" She said it all softly, but with this unsettling stillness, like she was just studying me the whole time. Then she said something that made my stomach knot. "I picked you because you don't have strong roots. That makes it easier." I asked her what she meant. She smiled, and for the first time, her eyes didn't match her expression. They were blank. They looked like she was hungry. She leaned in and whispered, "Because no one will come looking for you." I stood up and said I had to leave, but she didn't stop me. But as I walked towards the door, she said one last thing. "Next time you come back, bring a piece of yourself, bone or blood. Otherwise, I can't let you leave again." I laughed nervously and walked out. When I got back to my car, my keys were gone. I'd never take them out of ignition, but they were missing. I looked around for like 10 minutes. Nothing. Then I saw something sitting on my driver's seat. A photo. It was old and bent and torn at the edges. There were photos of me, sleeping, taken from the end of my bed. There was a thumbprint and blood on the corner. I didn't go back to her house after that. Instead, I called the police. I gave them the address. I had to be vague. I just said a woman might be in danger or something illegal might be going on. They said they sent someone, and 2 days later, I followed up. There was no record of a call out. I checked the address again on Google Maps, and the house was listed as demolished in 2002. I moved a week later, deleted Tinder, but the dream started after that. Every few nights, I wake up and she's there, standing in the corner of my room, barefoot, just watching me, never moving, just waiting. Sometimes I wake up with blood under my nails. Once I woke up with a piece of my own tooth in my hand. I don't remember pulling it out, but I think that's what she meant. Next time you come back, bring a piece of yourself. I didn't bring it to her. She came to take it. I matched with her on a Tuesday. Her name was Ira. She had this cold, elegant beauty, the kind that makes you wonder if she's way out of your league, or just out of everyone's league. Her bio was short: old soul, unusual appetite. I thought she was joking, but now I know she wasn't. We met at this tiny, almost hidden restaurant in a quiet part of the city. Not the kind of place anyone stumbles into. She picked it. It didn't even have a sign. It just had a symbol carved above the door that looked like a twisted fork. The place was candlelit, antique, and too quiet. There was no music, or there wasn't a chatter. All I heard was silverware and the soft chewing. Ira was already seated when I arrived. She didn't smile when I sat down. She just looked at me with this kind of passive interest, like I was a menu item. The waiter didn't bring menus. He brought us raw ingredients, like bone marrow, hearts, sea urchins, things I couldn't even identify. I laughed thinking it was just a gimmick, but she didn't laugh. She picked up something that looked like a piece of blackened cartilage and ate it without chewing. Her throat pulsed as it slid down her like a snake. I said, "I don't think I can eat that." She leaned closer, eyes locked on mine, and said, "You're still thinking in supermarket language. They used to serve this to kings." The waiter returned. No pad, no pen. He looked at Ira and said, "Should I prepare the tongue?" She nodded once. Then she turned to me and whispered, "You don't have to eat anything yet." The waiter brought out a silver cloche. When he lifted it, the smell hit me first. It was warm and wrong, like raw meat left in sunlight. But inside was a tongue, all right. Not from any animal I've seen. It was too human. It was grayish, swollen. It was even twitching. She sliced into it delicately. She'd definitely done this before. She'd done it like as if it was a ritual. I wanted to leave. Every cell in my body told me to stand up and walk out, but I didn't. She started talking, softly but clearly. She said things like, "Most people don't know what they're made of. Chewing is remembering. We are what we consume, emotionally, spiritually, chemically." I asked what she did for work. She smiled at that. That was the only time she did. She said, "I help people become less wasteful, more complete." Then she asked me something that chilled me more than anything so far. If you had to eat part of your body, what would you choose first? I said nothing, and she didn't pressure me, but eventually I had to lie. I said I needed to use the bathroom, but there wasn't a bathroom. It was just a single door marked Harvest. When I opened it, I expected storage or maybe a kitchen, but instead I saw hooks. dozens of them, hanging from the ceiling, some empty, some not, and there were slabs of something that might have been meat, but the bones looked wrong. They were too small and too thin, and there was a pile of folded clothes in the corner, and on top was a phone. It was cracked, buzzing, a Tinder notification still glowing on the screen. I backed out, but when I turned around, she was behind me. She wasn't angry, she was just patient. She held something in her hand, a thin silver tool shaped like a wishbone. She said to me, "You smell like someone who wants to be devoured. That's why I picked you." Then, everything went black. I woke up in my car with my shirt on backwards. There was dried blood behind my ear. Not a cut, just blood. And there was a small bandage on my lower back. There was no pain and no wounds, just a bandage. I went to urgent care immediately, and they did a scan. The doctor frowned at me and asked, "Did you have a kidney surgery recently?" I said no. And then she asked again, because one of my kidneys were gone. I tried to report it, but there was no record of the restaurant. The building was empty. It had no permit, no lease, nothing. And Ira, her profile was gone. Not unmatched, but deleted entirely. The only thing left on my phone from that night was a single photo of me in my gallery. I was sitting across from her, except in the photo, I'm looking straight into the camera, and I have no eyes.